Hello and a very good evening. You're now watching TVS English News at 5. Sarawak Energy's largest hydropower project to date, the 1,285 megawatt Baleh Hydroelectric project, or HEP, has reached a major project milestone with the successful completion of its dual diversion tunnels, river diversion and closure works last month. To mark its safe completion of this critical package of the project, a blessing or mirroring ceremony was organized at the request of the local communities on Wednesday, keeping a minimum number of attendees due to COVID-19.
The ceremony was held in collaboration with the Baleh team and the community leaders with support from Kapit resident and Bukit Mabung district officers. Community leader Penghulu Jampi Rawing and other headmen of both the directly and indirectly affected communities conducted the mirroring at 3 locations, the right and left banks at the upper stream of the Coffer Dam and in the centre area. Kapit resident Nurak Keti and Bukit Mabung district officer Douglas Pungalawang witnessed the ceremony along with local government and Sarawak Rivers Board representatives among others. Sarawak Energy, in a statement issued on Saturday, said the project was part of the Baleh project's 6 work packages. Measuring over 1.2 kilometers in length, the dual concrete-lined diversion tunnels that run parallel to each other to enable river diversion activities are now fully functional. Minister of Utilities Dato Sri Dr. Stephen Rundi Utom said the project is crucial towards securing the energy capacity needed for Sarawak's future growth and development and will support the state's ambition of achieving high income status by 2030 in providing renewable hydropower for our growth. Meanwhile, Sarawak Energy Group CEO Dato Sharbini Suhaili thanked the state government and community for their support. He said the Baleh help will contribute towards maintaining Sarawak energy status as Malaysia's largest renewable energy provider. In September, Executive Vice President for Project Delivery Pramod Kumar Karunakaran led the Baleh project team and its partner contractors in marking and assessing the readiness of the diversion tunnels for river diversion works during the Health, Safety, Security and Environment (HSSE) week for Baleh help. He explained with the simultaneous completion of the diversion tunnels as well as upstream Coffer Dam construction in October, they were able to effect the river diversion to enable the construction of the main dam. The river diversion and closure works for Baleh commenced on October 1, 2020 and were successfully completed on October 16, 2020. The construction for closure berm or rock layer built across the upper Batang Baleh will continue to a safe design elevation level of 71 meters in a month's time. Once completed, main dam construction will begin. Pramod emphasized the importance of safety in project delivery, especially for a large-scale project like the Baleh. When fully commissioned in 2026, Baleh will join the state's stable of hydropower plants that includes Batang Air, Murum and Bakun to support the state's aspirations to become a regional powerhouse of renewable and affordable energy.
The Communications and Multimedia Ministry, KKMM, is intensifying its COVID-19 communications initiatives. Greater emphasis is now being given to the quality and effectiveness of the communication.
Minister Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah said the initiatives include sharing data from the Ministry of Health on the rapid spread of the coronavirus and conducting surveys to better understand the profile and challenges facing every segment of society impacted by the pandemic. He said the ministry would also identify factors causing issues like fatigue, stress, seasonal forgetfulness, non-compliance with SOP and disinformation among others and find ways to tackle these challenges. Yesterday, Saifuddin said that although the existing communication initiatives so far have proven to be good, the initiatives would be stepped up with more systematic planning and implementation to boost their effectiveness. He said a lack of trust in agencies tasked with dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic is one of the challenges in the implementation of effective communication initiatives, leading some to defy SOPs and government instructions. Saifuddin said another method of enhancing the initiatives is to change the narrative from peddling fear to promoting hope and progress, shifting the emphasis of the message from punishment to positive reinforcement and providing more creative content. Besides, the success stories of unsung heroes would be shared via the storytelling approach, and efforts would be made to achieve precision, awareness and education, provide a communication plan on vaccines, and strengthen the social media capability of KKMM and government agencies. He said the human resource of the ministry at the federal, state and district levels would be increased and dedicated to community empowerment apart from optimizing grassroots leadership and community and ministry assets like the Community Internet Centre PIK. He added that the content of the Selamat Pagi Malaysia grandstand over RTM would be enhanced while producers or netizens would be invited to produce videos, documentaries, dramas, films and attractive social media products on a fast-track basis using funds provided by the National Film Development Corporation Malaysia, FINAS.
Two Singaporeans flying a light aircraft made an emergency landing at the kilometer 47 of the North-South Expressway near Kulai, Johor this morning. Rengam Fire and Rescue Department Operations Commander Ashraf Nur Muhammad Yusuf said the incident happened at around 11 a.m. on the emergency lane heading towards Kulai. He explained that the aircraft was believed to have had an engine failure, forcing the pilot and co-pilot to make an emergency landing. Both were unhurt in the incident. Ashraf said his team was on standby at the location for further assistance and said the pilots and aircraft were awaiting necessary action from the Senai International Airport at Johor Bahru. Meanwhile, the Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia said that its air traffic control tower in Johor received a call at 10:40 a.m. from the pilot requesting to return and land at Senai International Airport due to technical problems. They revealed that the private aircraft, operated by Premier Air Singapore, was en route from Senai to Malacca. The Air Accident Investigation Bureau will conduct an investigation into the incident. Welcome back. Malaysia is awaiting data from the third phase of clinical trials from all COVID-19 vaccine manufacturing companies before deciding on the procurement of the vaccine. Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah said the data was important to enable the Ministry of Health to ensure that the vaccine is effective and safe for use.
Terhadap syarikat vaksin ini. Terima kasih Tan Sri.
Okey, terima kasih. Jadi sekarang kita ada perundingan masih dijalankan. Dan apa yang penting kalau vaksin itu bukan hanya kita laksanakan penyelidikan di Malaysia, tetapi kita menunggu pada fasa 3 iaitu clinical trial. Kalau kita dah dapat data daripada fasa 3 clinical trial, jadi kita akan lihat sama ada vaksin tersebut berkesan ataupun tidak. Setakat ini kita tak kata vaksin ini tak berkesan, tapi kita kata tak ada data lagi, dia tak terbitkan data lagi untuk kita, maklum pada kita untuk kita lihat sama ada, jadi banyak soalan yang kita ada, sama ada soalan-soalan kita tu dijawab dalam data clinical trial. Setakat ini 10 company ataupun 12 company yang telah jalankan clinical trial ni atau fasa 3 clinical trial, data tu tak diterbitkan lagi. Jadi kita menunggu data tu sebelum kita boleh pertimbangkan untuk sama ada kita nak beli vaksin tersebut. Jadi sekarang ni dalam COVAX dan sebagainya, itulah cara pembelian. Sama ada kita boleh daftar sebelum kita beli vaksin tersebut, kita pastikan dia selamat dan juga dia berkesan. Dan apabila selamat dan berkesan, baru boleh didaftarkan. Setakat ini vaksin itu tak didaftarkan di FDA, di US dan juga tak didaftarkan di Malaysia. Jadi
he said this in the daily COVID-19 media briefing on Saturday. On the Ministry of Health's projections when the third wave of COVID-19 in the country would end, Dr. Noor Hisham said there was no estimation when the situation would subside and the ministry would continue implementing health control measures to curb the spread of the virus.
Leaders of the 20 biggest economies vowed to ensure a fair distribution of COVID-19 vaccines, drugs, and tests around the world, and do what was needed to support poorer countries struggling to recover from the coronavirus pandemic.
The twin crises of the pandemic and uneven, uncertain global recovery dominated the first day of a two-day summit under the chairmanship of Saudi Arabia, which hands off the rotating presidency of the G20 to Italy next month. The COVID-19 pandemic, which has thrown the global economy into a deep recession this year, one of the top agenda is an efforts needed to underpin an economic rebound in 2021. Saudi Arabia's King Salman bin Abdulaziz said in his opening remarks on the need to work in creating the conditions for affordable and equitable access of tools to all the peoples. The European Union urged G20 leaders quickly to put more money into a global project for vaccines, tests and therapeutics. Germany was contributing more than 500 million euros to the effort. Russian President Vladimir Putin offered to provide Russia's Sputnik coronavirus vaccine to other countries. China, where the pandemic originated a year ago, also offered to cooperate on vaccines. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump, who lost the US presidential election, has refused to concede to former Vice President Joe Biden, addressed G20 leaders briefly before going golfing.
China plans to launch an unmanned spacecraft to the moon this week to bring back lunar rocks in the first attempt by any nation to retrieve samples from the Earth's natural satellite since the 1970s. The mission will test China's abilities to remotely acquire samples from space ahead of more complex missions.
The Chang'e 5 probe, named after the ancient Chinese goddess of the moon, will seek to collect material that can help scientists understand more about the moon's origins and formation. Once in the moon's orbit, the probe will aim to deploy a pair of vehicles to the surface. A lander will drill into the ground, then transfer its soil and rock samples to an ascender that will lift off and dock with an orbiting module. If this is successful, the samples will be transferred to a return capsule that will return them to Earth. The Chang'e 5 mission may help answer questions such as how long the moon remained volcanically active in its interior and when its magnetic field, key to protecting any form of life from the sun's radiation, dissipated. Within the next decade, China plans to establish a robotic base station to conduct unmanned exploration in the South Polar region. It is to be developed through the Chang'e 6, 7 and 8 missions through the 2020s and expanded through the 2030s ahead of manned landings. China plans to retrieve samples from Mars by 2030.
Well, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I am Razi Ahmad for TVS. Stay safe.